Adventurers, good afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. It's almost midnight here, just because I'm a night owl. That's when I find my inner zen to work on things. It's a week before. It's less than a week. It's now Sunday night. KAT is this coming Friday, so we've got 4 or 5 days, depending on how you want to count it. I'm getting into some stuff to make sure some engine noise goes away. I had a lot of chatter in the top end, and that's, I don't know if you paid attention to the channel. There was a year where I was blasting highway and not checking the oil enough. Burned up a lot of stuff. Burned up the cylinder last year. It was smoking. Got that squared away. Replaced the cam chain. And now that all that's quiet, I can hear the in the valve assembly. So there's the old head. There's the old rocker cover with all the bits in it. And there's the new one. New set, old cam goes in, but new valves, new rocker assembly. It's all good. None of which I'm worried about. It's all relatively cheap. Used up a few birthday points for the head assembly. My best riding buddy in the world helped me. She's tossed me some dough to buy all the maintenance parts. But that's not what we're here talking about. What we're here talking about is not just enjoying your ride, but enjoying the maintenance of the ride. I love working on this. Stuff like replacing top ends and rocker assemblies and stuff like that. People are like, I don't want to do that. That's catastrophic. Like, oh my God. On this bike, it is the best. Out in the garage at night, I got a little soda pop in my veins, and I'm just here working on the Hemi. And I would not want to be doing, short of riding, anything else. We've got a few other bikes in the stable to be worked on, but boom! This is what I want to work on. I love working on the Himalayan. Everything makes sense. It's very tactile. It's pleasing to work on. Everything makes sense. Everything's where it should be and accessible. Also, I love seeing that the transmission gears are like this far away from the crank, like the counterweights. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, this thing's not allowed to die yet. So sorry, Hemi, you're not. It's not your time. You're just under 30,000 miles, and I know that they've all been very hard because they're my miles. I'm not very nice to this thing, even though it does everything I like. So she's getting new parts. She's getting some garage time. She's earned it. Plus, like I said, we're a couple days away from beating the snot out of it for another weekend. Putting it through stuff. It was made to go up the mountains, so it should be able to handle this. I've done it. This will be my, I think, third or fourth year in a row taking the Himalayan on this event. I think it's fourth, technically. I think it's my third year owning, but yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and I wouldn't have any other bike. Every time I take this bike out, I fall in love with it more and more every time. I mean, every time. Even when it starts making funky sounds or something breaks, like I just did the fork seals, and now I the other weekend we went down to the Dragon, and I felt that the steering stem bearings are a little crispy, so those will get replaced this week. And I'm never bummed about it, because I know that all of it's stuff that I did to the machine. Like, most of this is like, oh, I'm just going to run it until it's done, instead of like, oh, I should do the maintenance now. No, I'm too stupid for that. So I'm never mad that it needs work, because it's my own fault. So in summary, again, Himalayan, best bike in the world. For me, I have lost count how many motorcycles I've owned. The big four, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Big China, all that stuff, Kawasaki. I've owned I haven't owned like a big boy Harley yet. A few have passed through my hand. I've ridden a few, but I can't officially say like, oh, I've owned a Harley. Uh, I've owned all kinds of weird stuff. Some English stuff has come through my hands. Lots of vintage stuff and some new stuff. BMW, I've had 2 of those. No. Uh, best, most loyal bike. Never left me stranded, even when there's catastrophic system failure warnings. It's like, let's go. We got to get home. Get on your motorcycles, in summary. Later, guys.